check out this puppy. And I'm not just saying that because he's my puppy and I, of course, adore him. But if you can see him, you can notice that he's just completely collapsed at the moment. Okay, done with that. But there was no stability in his back. His joints were, just like completely unstable, unset. And I was trying to tie that into the fact that sometimes your Chaturanga just isn't there. And you know the days. It's the days where you're tired, you're sore. Maybe you didn't sleep right in bed, or you've been doing some yard work, or maybe it just happens, right? For me, sometimes it just happens. I wake up and I go, what the heck? So this class is going to be on the Chaturanga, but it's also going to be on ways that you can change it up so that on those days where you just don't have it to pull in and support and keep everything aligned and with integrity, that you have some options that you can go to keep you a little bit more safe and continue to practice to attend to the other areas of your body that really want you to either strengthen or stretch, depending, for the mind, so that you can get through your day and have a little sense of calmness or clarity. And that's certainly what my practice gives to me. And patience. Yeah. So if you have 1 or 2 blocks, have them handy. And we're just going to kind of get down to business, hopefully. This guy thinks that he belongs on my mat, so I had to get a bigger mat. So, excuse the pup. He is used to being in the videos. So first off, let's talk about your Chaturanga and what you don't want to do and what you do want to do. So with your Chaturanga, if you're leaning too far forward, your back sags, right? If you're leaning too far back, maybe, and this is obviously an exaggeration, your butt sticks up. So I'm not very warmed up, not at all warmed up, but those are the 2 examples of what you may not want to do. And my back is actually sore today, but hopefully that will change. So if you come to your mat, you come into Samastiti or even mountain pose, depending on your practice. Glue down through your feet and close your eyes for just a minute and just notice what you feel. And if you close your eyes and you sway from one side to the other, and then maybe you sway forward and back, right? With your eyes closed, your body naturally knows what to do. And it kicks in areas to help balance you, right? So that's something we've got at our advantage, which is so awesome. If you have a wall handy, one thing you can do is you can bring your toes, your feet are hip width apart, bring your toes right up to the baseboard. Sit here Your pelvis is level, rooting down through the heels of the feet, through the balls of the big toe mounds, and even in the baby toe mounds. All right, you're here. This is your mountain pose. This is your samasthiti if your feet are together. And now let's go ahead and reach our arms wide and up overhead. And for now, we'll keep our hands separated. Notice this. Feel what you need to do in order to make the pose right. So is my butt sticking out? Well, maybe I need to engage my glutes a little bit to bring it in to find that alignment. Now go ahead and bring your fingertips towards the wall. And maybe try and crawl those fingertips up. And as you do that, you don't want your shoulder blades to be flailing out like this. You want to bring a little bit of protraction so the shoulder blades will widen and do a little bit of a hugging around the side. Okay, now bring your hands flat on the mat or on the wall. Slide them down into your Chaturanga position. And notice what happens with the shoulder blades here. They come a little bit together, they retract. They should be hugging into the spine or to the skeleton, so not flailing out, not separating. And in order to do that, you may need to engage some of the muscles in the front of your body to help pull everything together. You want to hug the skeleton. You want the muscles to hold the bones together, because as we practice yoga, we get more flexible. So we work all of these muscles here to support the mobility that we're creating in our back. Okay, so let's come back to the top of our mat, and we're going to bring what we did at the wall to the mat. Okay, so we're here, we're rooting down, sweep our arms wide and up. Pull those shoulder blades around and forward and reach here and breathe. And look up at your hands. And as you look up at your hands, you might notice that your rib cage tends to pop out. What can you do to keep that from popping out? If you stick your hand here and you feel that movement, there's a little bit of almost like a mini crunch that you can do to get that muscle here to contract and pull everything in. And then you can hold that and straighten out again. All right, let's put our hand on the other side here. So notice, it's popping out. Do a little mini crunch. Contract it, you feel that contraction. And now straighten it back out and hold that. Okay, we're going really slow, I know. Inhale, reach up. And now let's exhale. If this is your first, we're gonna bend our knees, hang forward here. And breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's go ahead and put our hands on our shins, flat back, and fold forward. And if you have that wall again, let's work here. Come a little closer. All right, there it is. Okay, so fold forward. Maybe your hamstrings are opening up, your legs are warming up. Maybe you straighten them a little bit more here. And now put your hands on your shins, stick your head to the wall, and you might need to adjust your distance depending on the length of your torso and also the opening of your hamstring. Okay, so hands are here. Push into the wall with your head. Find that length in your spine.
I love using the wall because it gives me something to push against. And now exhale, fold forward, and inhale. Come all the way up. Arms rise, look up at those hands, and bring your hands down to your side. Engage your glutes and push your head towards the sky. Notice that length. Everything pulls in. You find that integrity, right? So we're doing that at the wall, just to give us information. All right, let's take this a little further. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Maybe bring your hands to touch. Look up at those thumbs. Pull in those ribs. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Maybe your hands come to your shins. Maybe you come up onto your fingertips here. Find that length. Pull in those ribs. Belly button to your spine. And bring your hands flat. And let's step back. And we're coming into a high plank. Sorry, I should have put my hair down. Okay, so we're coming into a high plank here. We don't want to come too far forward. We don't want to come too far back. Now notice, can we pull in the low belly, pull in the ribs, push into the heel of our feet as if we were standing on the ground, and push our head towards the wall. And then let's just slowly come all the way down to our belly. But keeping that, not bend, not knees, chest, chin, just down. Okay? Let's do that again. Come back up. Check in on everything, okay? So the shoulder blades are wrapping. You're rooting into your hands to keep you a nice firm base. And you're helping out your feet and your hands by pulling in the low belly to spine, belly button to spine, pulling in with those ribs, rooting down through the heels, finding the length in your spine by pushing your head towards the wall. And then exhale all the way down, okay? But we're in our Chaturanga position, right? So my feet are rooting, legs are strong, head's reaching towards the wall ahead, and I'm even kind of looking with my gaze forward. All right, so that's great, but we don't always want to go all the way to the ground. So now, I have a couple blocks here. And these blocks are really just going to give me information. They're going to be my ground. And I'm going to put them not on the super high, but on the medium level for now, because it gives the shoulders some room to move. You're reaching. It gives you all that movement, right? So let's come back here. Same thing. We're in our Chaturanga. We're looking forward. We're engaging everything all the way down to the blocks. All right? And then from here, notice what you can change. Can you root into your feet more? Can you push in to the block or to the ground and reach your sternum, this breastbone, and your head forward? Find some length here. And you can even check here, you can root. You can check in here, see if your ribs are engaged. Let's come back up. All right, let's do it again. Inhale and exhale, lower down. All right, so that's a good place to work if your Chaturanga needs a little bit of help. Now, how are we going to integrate it into our practice? On those days that you want to use a block, let's say it's probably better so that you have room for your upward facing dog to just use the one block. So let's start here. My feet are on either side of the block. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, look forward, flat back. And then exhale, bring your hands down, step back into your Chaturanga, or your high plank, lower down to that Chaturanga. Don't let this drop. Keep it up, but don't stick it up like that. Nice and engaged. And then let's just come into our upward facing dog and our downward facing dog. And breathe here. And go ahead and walk out your downward facing dog. And then inhale, exhale, bend your knees. Look forward to the block. Step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. And inhale, come all the way up. And back down to your side. Your Chaturanga is pretty good. There is a pose that is pretty fun to play around with. It's called Nakrasana. And it's fun to do this pose to really check out where everything might be floppy or not. And I would say, since you have the option of doing this at home, if you have the ability to video yourself after you kind of learn this, you can really take a look at what's happening and get information. You can check and see, is your butt sticking up? Is your back sagging? Are your arms, is there something else that you can do to help find comfort? Because that's really what we want to do. Okay, so let me see if I can line this up just right. I'm going to bring my feet right in the middle of where the two blocks intersect. Okay, and let me show you what this pose looks like first, and then we can figure out how we're going to do it. So, this is if you have a good Chaturanga and you want to just play around with moving within a Chaturanga. It's a fun little pose. So, inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, we fold forward. Bring your hands in front of your feet. Inhale, flat back. And now we're going to jump back to our Chaturanga. Or to our plank, lower down to our Chaturanga. I would say once you land all the way on the block, it's kind of game over. So let's actually have a Chaturanga. The blocks are going to be here. I can't talk and do this at the same time. The blocks are going to be here to catch you so that you don't go all the way down, so that you have a little bit of movement. So let me do that again. Okay, so, and then what we're gonna do is you're gonna hop your hands and feet at the same time, forward and then back. Okay, so here we go. All right. So not very graceful. And you can play around. If you want to not go down as far, you may find that that gives you a little bit more, like less at stake. You keep your arms a little straight, and this is just sort of like your bumpers when you're bowling. So let's try that at the higher height. I think I am used to being a little lower to the ground so that I can move around. Another thing to keep in mind is where you're moving from, where you're propelling that from. If you're a female, your pelvic bone, your pelvis, is the heaviest part of your body, or it's the heavier part of your body. And that's because that bone, that bone structure is designed to be able to hold a baby. So it's really robust, right? Whereas if you're male, it's your shoulders that are the stronger, bigger, more meatier part of your body. And so for men, I am told,
because I'm not a male, but that's where the movement happens from. But for a female, that's not going to get you anywhere. You really need to move from the pelvis. Okay, so keep that in mind as you do this. I'm going to try it from the high height. I have to say I haven't done it from this height in a while, and another option is a bolster. Okay, it's a little softer option. So inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we'll go here. Let's go ahead and keep our hands straight. Look forward. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you would go into your up dog and your down dog. You can just go straight to our down dog. Walk forward and come on up. Of knowing what to do, it takes time. So if it feels kind of awkward, it should. And that's all cool. All right, rooting down to our side, finding here our Chaturanga, finding our strength, and inhale, squeeze the arms up overhead, look up. Everything pulls in, nice and strong. Exhale, fold forward, up, down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, let's go to our Chaturanga, and right away, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And come into a cobra or upward facing dog. Doesn't matter if it's sloppy. Just release. And let's come into child's pose. And stretch it out. So no matter how that pose manifested, I hope that you found some release, some playfulness as you try to experience something new. And let's just go ahead and come up forward and lay down on our back. For this one, let's go ahead and, if you have that wall still available, maybe put your feet up the wall. Arms down at your side. And just release. Let's inhale and sigh. 2 more times. Inhale. And 1 more time. Inhale. And when you're ready to come out, go ahead and wiggle your fingers and toes. Notice your breath. Bring a little more life to your body, breathing a little bit deeper. And let's bend one knee and then the other.
Hug those knees in. Short chest. And extend one arm up overhead. Roll over to your side. That brings you off the wall. And then go ahead and come on up to a seated position. And bring your hands into prayer in front of your heart. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go one time. Inhale. I hope you found this useful, either to help you find where to work within your Chaturanga, or just to find some playfulness and playing around with Nakrāsana. Maybe that crocodile hopping out of the water and then coming back into the water. That's what the pose is. Nakrāsana is a crocodile. Anyways, have a wonderful day, and until we meet again, namaste.